environmental champions and just be as we should be in this beautiful city on this beautiful Saturday. Again, I'd like to thank Music as One for bringing down the drum circle. And do we get all the instruments back into the middle of the circle so they can get collected and brought back to Music as a Weapon. Again, thank you so much. Coming up, we have some more snacks over the front table, more opportunity to just talk and get to know each other, and we have our pedal bikes which are going rather unused. We need some people providing some power, especially for our next set. We got Murray here who's going to be spinning some upbeat, uplifting music for us all to sit down and say hi and connect to. Thanks again for coming out to Thrival Edmonton. Here's Murray!
I don't know what I would do as Prime Minister.
Yes.
I think the most pressing issue that we have right now is we have a deficit in democracy in Parliament. We have an evil man running the country who should probably be put in jail. And I think the first thing that we would do is, as Prime Minister, is I'll probably just forget about that and move on to more important things. But I think that would be certainly the first step in a cure for what's been going on in Parliament for the past number of years. And I think if we had somebody new running the show, somebody who hasn't had a chance to screw up like everybody else has for the last 100 years, that we'd probably be in a better place than we are now.
So basically, if I was Prime Minister, I would promote more environmental conservation. I think that saving our wildlife and our natural spaces is something that's like imperative for our very survival, and I don't think that environmentalism should be like a political leaning or like a group. Like you hear like, oh, the environmentalists, or like, you know, the hippies that grow organic farms and stuff. And I think that environmentalism is just like a fact of life. Like natural spaces are the source of where we came from. It's the source of our livelihood. That it's not just a group that we can kind of choose to participate in or not. I think that if we don't participate in natural conservation, we're kind of going against the very survival of our life.
And what I don't like is with the resources that we have here in Alberta, and when we ship bitumen straight down to the refineries that they built in the States, I don't like, because that's shipping jobs out of Alberta. And the other thing that I really like about Canada is the healthcare system. I think it is great. I mean, I know it's expensive, and I think it's absolutely worth keeping. That's why I would never vote for Stephen Harper that would like to dismantle that.
Well, I think the first thing that I'd want to do is provide more funding to post-secondary education, so young people wouldn't have to go into debt when they want to pursue education as a, you know, an option for them. And secondly, I think we should restore more funding to healthcare, so that Canadians don't have to worry about what's going to happen to them if they have any, you know, illnesses or if they should become sick. And basically just do more to provide a stronger social safety net.
So the first thing that I would do if I was elected to office in federal government would change our foreign policy a little bit. I think Canada should be focusing a lot more on human rights and social justice, especially with the United Nations goal of 0.7% of our GDP for the Millennium Development Goals, and so far we're only at 0.28, which is abysmal, and they're thinking of freezing that right now, putting caps on trade, foreign aid. So I think that's one thing that I would really do is work with the Millennium Development Goals and make human rights and social justice a really prominent issue for Canadians, rather than just, you know, the economy and that kind of stuff. Even though that's really important, there's a whole other aspect that government could do to have positive change.
Yeah, one of my first policy changes would be to get us up to that 0.7% commitment that was made a long time ago by our Canadian government for foreign aid. Make sure that gets in place, make sure it's good aid, not tide aid, and it's going to the right people, so that positive effect can be made there. Yeah, and then from there I'd be looking at a lot of different structural changes, I'd say, to both the voting system and getting people involved in democracy. I can see those as huge issues within government right now, but that's what I'd be looking to do. Make sure that democracy is truly taking place in the best form we possibly can. So that would be my choice as Prime Minister, what I would be focusing on.
Hi, my name is Peter Fernandez, a graduate of the BFA Acting Program, and I would increase arts funding.
If you were Canada's Prime Minister?
If I was Canada's Prime Minister, I would increase arts funding.
I would definitely, it's not a major policy issue, there's so many more things I would do, but I definitely would concentrate on a kind of food security that's typically overlooked. I mean, we do have small percentage of food security as in access to food, but we also have a food situation where we actually don't know what we're eating. And that's in terms of the kind of food, like the mislabeling of a lot of things, and the presence of things such as GMOs, GMs, and nanotechnology that is used to manufacture or even grow the food. And we have no testing on it. There is testing, but I mean, it's on the fence. There's like, well, there is potential outcomes that are negative, and then there's people that are like, no, they don't exist. So it's the fact that our government has put us into this situation without actually evaluating the situation fully, and has done it without labeling. So if I was Prime Minister and if I had a choice in policy, I would definitely go about my way to make sure that labeling was a very prominent thing in our food system when it came to these GMs, and GMs, to clarify, are genetically modified foods.
Prime Minister of Canada, I would help all the medical, provide more beds for more medical, and help the homeless people out, more important of all, so we don't have homeless on the streets, so they don't freeze their butts anymore. And plus, vote for NDP, vote for Jack Layton, because Liberal had a chance. They already been Prime Minister, and Conservatives like Harper's been Prime Minister. Why don't we give Jack Layton a chance to be a Prime Minister?